because you need to smooth it out. I want you all to go over the top, the bottom, the left, the right, so they look like that. Got it? Okay. The darker they get, the more opaque the paint gets, which is great. It won't be too streaky. So, and basically, that's it. Just keep going. Do not add water ever. It will make the paint crazy transparent. There are times in your life where you will want to add, water to paint, but not for this assignment. The other thing that, again, it's hard for me, if you watch what I'm doing, I'm explaining it. But students always try to, okay, I got to get all these done, and you guys rush it. If you don't do this, look what happens. It's like, I got to get it done. It's like, no, just chill out, all right, and just smooth it out. And again, I am not doing this. Okay, students do this. I'm smoothing it so gently you can barely see it. Boom. And slowly. It's especially a problem, or potentially a problem, with this paint, which will be somewhat streaky on occasion. Don't panic about that. I will be around. I'm going to put this back in. One last thing. These brushes are they're not like dainty, okay? These things were made to be abused. And so to clean them thoroughly, don't be afraid. And you see, I just took this out, I just wipe it down with my paper towel, okay? It's not gonna hurt it. It's gonna get all the paint out is what it's gonna do. And you can't tell, but I'm pressing down very hard, and you can't see it because it's in the dirty water. And I'm stirring it around like this really aggressively to get all the paint out. Now, the good thing is, in this assignment and the next one, where you're working with grays to create different compositional goals, you're only mixing gray. And so if the brush isn't 100% totally perfectly clean, it doesn't matter because you're not adding a color in. When you guys start painting with color and you've got like red and green, if there's still a little green and you put it in the red, you're going to get a brown, like you're going to get unintended consequences. With this, you're just going to get gray paint. And now that it's dry, here we go. How close can I get here? Okay. I'm looking at it going, yeah, it's a little bit, there are some streaky things going on in here, but again, like looking at this one, it's a little bit streaky. It's not a big deal. So don't get all over crazy on yourselves like, oh my God, I'm not doing it right. There will be some streakiness, but the overall quality of the gray is pretty uniform. Just for fun, we'll do the black now, or do something close to black. Yummy. Charcoal gray, yo. Oh, so nice. So you just make 120 of those and you're good to go. I think so. Now again, it is time consuming to lay out the grid. What time is it? Oh, that's right, I keep forgetting I haven't watched. Yeah, it's already after 6 o'clock. I think that's clear. I'm gonna do it again on Wednesday. But I just wanted to show you, like, this is what it looks like. This is what you're using. The great thing is don't overdo it when you're mixing. Like, don't put out too much paint because when this stuff dries, it's gone, okay? It isn't like oil paint where it sits there and it's wet for 3 days. This stuff will dry up on you, especially with this weather, really quickly, and it just will be no good, all right? So, again, dirty. I already cleaned that off, so I'm not worried about it. These aren't the most expensive brushes in the world, but they're really nice. They're pretty good brushes. And you just don't want to wreck it. If you're not working, just make sure you put the top back on. It clicks like that. And that's from The Big Lebowski, and you guys won't get that joke either, I don't think. Pull the trigger till it goes click. Okay, boom, boom. Now, when you're done painting, how do you clean up? See over there? Sinks. Just pour this crap down the sink, rinse your brush off, you're pretty much done. You don't have to dry the cup. You can reuse the cup. I mean, it's for paint, so who cares? So just keep that, dump the paint in the sink, clean your brush. This stuff, the reason I have you use palette paper, I use it for this, I use it for oil also, is because when you're done, instead of having to clean everything up, you know, and like go in the sink and wash your palette off, when you're done, you just tear the sheet off, you fold it up, and yes, it's true, you throw it in the trash. It is not toxic. Huh?
Is it supposed to be in our...
The palette paper?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay, mine didn't
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah, go down and check with Owen, because that's supposed to be in there too. Because if you use a regular, I mean, some students like using a regular palette. I don't know, they think it's like romantic or something. You know, like the kind that is the only emoji that is art. You know, like it's a palette, right? I mean, there's another one where it's like a painting in a frame, but like that's the only one where it shows like a tool, and it's the logo of the Blick company, so everyone knows what a palette is. If you want to go out and buy like a $50 wooden palette, and like big thing like this, and put your thumb through it, and like put on a beret like Claude Monet, knock yourself out, but you're making more work for yourself because you got to clean the palette, you got to wipe it off. It's a pain in the ass, and I never use them. I use this for everything. I use this for like giant paintings. Because when I'm done, even oil paint, you fold it up, you throw it away, you're done. I've tried taking that stuff to household hazardous waste facilities. They will not accept it. It is not considered toxic waste, not even oil. And I go, are you sure about that? And they said if there are any solvents in the oil paint, they've evaporated already. And I go, what about cadmiums, like heavy metal cobalts in paint? They're like, trace amounts won't hurt anything. I'm like, so I can tell my students everywhere in California that they can just throw this stuff in the dumpster behind their house. They're like, absolutely, we will not take it. I'm like, okay. So that's what you need to do. What I recommend you do now, with the remaining time we have, is take these guys, take your Bristol, measure it out. If you have any questions about how to measure it, ask me. If you're like, I didn't quite catch that, Cole, how far in do we go? Half an inch, okay? But if you need any help laying it out, that'll be fine. Do 4 pages, okay, and you're good to go. And then we'll come in on Wednesday at the very beginning of class. No lecture, no crit, no nothing. We just paint all day, 3 hours. So do the grid first. Come back and because some of you guys like didn't have cups, make sure you have all the stuff you need. Like you need all this stuff. The palette paper, the Bristol, you need the paint, you need the brush, you need the cup. I don't know how many rulers. I think everybody has a 2-foot ruler, and you can use that too. Again, you can mix the paint with a palette knife if you want to, but we'll worry about that on Wednesday when everybody's actually painting again. And now I will sign off.